Student Engagement by Jody Williams. The classroom problem that I've had this year is the students being engaged during reading workshop. My current classroom of students are very motivated to learn. I don't have a lot of behavior issues. What I've noticed is that a lot of independent work that they've been doing, if it's less engaging, there's more interruptions during workshop. I am with a small group or working on one-on-one with students at this time. So it's really important that the students are engaged in the independent work so that I have more time for the one-on-one and a small group differentiation. The themes in my research that I have found is when students were given more engaging activities during workshop, there were less interruptions. And I had more time for differentiating instruction with my small groups or one-on-one. I've noticed too that by the end of the 4 weeks, there was increased fluency and increased collaboration among my students. The literature that supports my finding was Clark. She mentions how using digital tools in the classroom can increase classroom engagement, and it showed that implementing classroom tools promoted student participation. Embry also found that collaboration and the use of technology during literacy instruction can lead to less interruptions and provide more time for the teacher for one-on-one and small group instructions. Helmers also found that in the research that when students are more actively engaged in their learning during literacy instruction, it leads to better comprehension and fluency scores. I had 3 options for my implementation for engagement in the classroom. My first option I thought about doing in my classroom is digital storytelling and using Flipgrid to create videos of summaries of novels that the students are reading and sharing it to others. And my last one was having a digital choice board, which included all of the above options, the digital storytelling and the Flipgrids, along with other options. I chose to do the digital choice board because it gave student choices and included several new digital tools for the students to try out. The digital tools I have found to be more engaging for students. The choice board, the students were given a choice board with options to choose 3 different assignments about their novel, Frindle. The elements of fiction options kept them engaged in the novel in order to complete the assignments. Students liked the options of having choices, and they enjoyed using the new digital tools along with the tools they already knew, and they liked creating assignments that their peers could answer and send back to them. My implementation plan, the students really enjoyed having the choices and learning the different tools. They each got to actually present a choice at the end of the project to the class that they really wanted to show. These are some of the examples my students did that were on the choice board. There was a choice of doing a character interview where students could write questions and they could interview a character in the classroom novel, Frindle. This is also an option that was on the vocabulary part of the choice board. The students could write a riddle that goes along with the vocabulary in the novel. This is an example. This is another example that they could have used for a vocabulary choice. They could create a crossword puzzle with the vocabulary words in Frindle and then send it to a student, a peer, to solve. What I found is at the beginning of the project is that there were 13 out of 24 students above the goal on progress monitoring, and this measures fluency, and we measure this once a week. And after 4 weeks of doing the project, I actually had 18 out of 24 of my students above goal. And the students were so motivated to read due to the options that were on the choice board and using the digital tools. And my interruptions decreased from 20 interruptions to just 2 by the end of the 4 weeks. What I noticed is that the plan worked really well. There was less interruptions. There was increased fluency over the 4-week time. I've noticed the students really engaged in the activities. There was a lot more student collaboration, and the students really liked creating the independent work that they could create for their peers to answer their questions. It is student-led, and the findings were similar to the researchers Clark, Embry, and Helmers. They also said that students are more engaged when digital tools are used. Use of digital tools has led to less interruptions, more student engagement, and increased fluency. The fluency went up quite a bit. Some of the strengths of the plan is that there were more students engaged in the work, there were less interruptions, and there was a lot more one-on-one time and small group instruction time, and the students collaborated more. Some of the weaknesses is that having the extra time needed to teach the use of digital tools and taking the extra time to model how to use the digital tools independently and making sure that there was time for teaching of the regular curriculum that I also had to do during the day. The researching of the problem, the process is a great process. If a problem arises in the classroom, research what others have tried and then implement a plan. Don't reinvent the wheel. I have noticed that there are so many great ideas out there from other researchers to try. Taking the time is worth it if the problem is solved, like it was with me, or reduced. And learning new digital tools as an educator and implementing them in the classroom is worth the time to increase student engagement.